We are very unconscious of how we are killing our planet and the natural disasters that are happening every day. In this presentation, we are going to talk about fuel pollution and its consequences. Actually, we are going to expose the fuel pollution due to oil spill. To do that, we are going to put a real case as an example. We have chosen the Prestige disaster. Prestige disaster is the worst ecological disaster in Europe in the last 20 years. It happened during a storm when the ship broke in two parts and started losing tons and tons of fuel into the sea.
The poor conservation status of the boat may be one of the first reasons of the disaster. The boat was constructed in Japan in 1976. It didn't have the required maintenance at all. The cargo and ballast tanks had a condition of extreme fragility, causing a water leak and, afterwards, the boat split into two parts. However, the bad decision of moving the boat away of the coast following some political unilateral decisions that were taken without scientific basis, neither applying the established plans in case of an emergency, caused the disaster. One of these was to move away the boat from the coast, to put it farther out to the sea. Findings suggest that was not the best option because it only helped the black wave of petrol to expand more, arriving to the southern coast of France, Portugal, Asturias, and other places, instead of focusing the problem in one place. This ecological disaster occurred due to a fraudulent transport. The marine field is full of irregularities that are
Because of a bad decision of the government that considered in send the ship away of the coast, the fuel was spread on a huge territory from the coast of Portugal to France, but the worst part was in Galicia, where they had huge problems in the economy, health, and environment. The consequences of the accident were terrible and they had to be fixed by the Spanish government and the Galician people. The Spanish government created a plan, the Galician plan, of a 12,459 euros designated to clean the coast of fuel, and thousands of people were organized to clean the coast. These people were the first interested on solving the issues, as most of them lived of what they fished and the fuel was polluting all the zone and killing the fauna. But the fuel was not only hurting the fish, but also the birds that drank water from the sea. But nowadays, if you ask who were the responsibles of this terrible accident, the truth is that there is no response. Because the boat was property of a Liberian company, the manager was Greek, the property of the loading was Swiss, the insurance company from the UK, the classification society from the US, and the port of registry was Bahamas. And this multinational property, usually in a globalized world, made it difficult to find responsibles. Even though there were two trials, one in Spain and the other in the US, it was impossible to find a legal responsible because each part was faulting the others, and as they were not the same, it was impossible. But sadly, it wasn't the only accident of that kind that happened in Spain. In 1976 there was another accident and also in 1992, but Spain is not the only country in the world affected by that kind of accident. For example, in Europe, the UK, Portugal and France are the countries with the worst petrol accidents of the continent. Also in America, the USA and Canada have the worst part, and in other countries of the world such as Iran and Turkey. The sad part is that in most of the cases it is impossible to find a responsible, or it is impossible to solve the problem because of the money and because of how the property of the society is organized.